The mind will trick you to focus on the surface level of the problems in your business to protect you from pain. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind Engineer community. Here, Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer. I want to talk about this amazing topic that a lot of people struggle with and they don't understand how to truly deal with this. So I know the title is a little bit long, right? But I want to explain what I mean with this long title of this, live. The mind will trick you to focus on the surface level of the problems. What does that mean? The other day I was talking to a group of people. They were all entrepreneurs. I was invited to, share some insight and knowledge about entrepreneurship, about mindset. And as I was talking to a guy, this guy was telling me that, Instagram was very difficult to use. And if he were talking about Facebook, maybe with the groups, the pages, things like that, I maybe could have got it as, yeah, maybe, right? But Instagram is really basic to use. So when he said that, for me, that was an alarm to understand that there was something much deeper. So for him, he was focusing on the problem. That's why I said like this, tricks you to see the surface level problem of, oh, Facebook, in this case, Instagram is very difficult. Or I was talking to another woman that she was telling me, oh, but Tommy, and this one was in her 50s, 60s, and she's like, oh, but Tommy, on Instagram, it's full of young people. So I asked this woman, what is the opposite of young? She said, old. So I asked her in a very nice way, I don't remember the exact words, but it sounded pretty nice. How are you dealing with age? Ah, there we go. I told her, how are you dealing with age? And when I asked her that, her face transformed and she got very uncomfortable. So this woman that was saying that, oh, Instagram is full of young people, that's not the problem that you're not going live. You're not doing, videos. You're not talking to people. It's your own inner self-talk about yourself that is holding you back. So when we see overwhelm in business, when we see self-doubt, when we see procrastination, when we see perfectionism, when we see whatever, tech problems, whatever, the deeper thing is not actually the problem is not actually that. Those are the symptoms of something deeper. The guy that was saying that Instagram was very difficult to use eventually ended up accepting that he didn't like to see his face on Instagram. He didn't like to see his face. He woke up in the morning and every time he looked at his face in the mirror, he didn't like that. So imagine that, guys. This person that is not liking seeing himself in the mirror, how is he going to do lives? How is he going to reach out to people? How is he going to do videos to be able to sell what he's selling? And I see this. Hey, Richard, nice to see you. I see this constantly. People that are blaming the problem in something that is not actually the problem, but the mind is tricking you to think that that is a problem because it doesn't want to face the deeper pain. The deeper pain is this guy didn't like his face. This woman was struggling with her age, and both were blaming it on Instagram. One, because she only saw kids or young people on Instagram, and the other one because it was too difficult to use. The mind is going to find surface level problems when actually, to cover, let's put it that way, to cover the deeper true problem. So whenever you're struggling with something, instead of thinking, okay, yeah, this is too stressful, overwhelming, this is difficult to use, this is difficult to do, or whatever, technology, the phone, the microphone, whatever, remember that many times the mind is deviating you from really facing the actual problem that is within your mind, that it has to do with your negative self-image. Remember that from 0 to 7 years old, we started gathering information to define who we were. But unfortunately, as our parents had unresolved issues, the way we perceived ourselves was not very good. The reality, that's why that way, it wasn't the reality. So we started creating negative self-images about ourselves. So whenever people want to change jobs, whenever people want to start dating, whenever people want to starting their own companies, they get stuck. Why do they get stuck? Because they're struggling with these type of things. So when we understand this, it makes it easier to get past what we think the problem is and actually tackle the true problem. Because as I always say, if I go out there and I start cutting the grass because I see there's a lot of weed, but I don't take the weed out from the root, a week later, I'm going to have the garden again, all these weeds coming out again. So instead of focusing on what you think is a problem, procrastination, overwhelm, stress, anxiety, any type of problems that you're thinking that is a problem, I guarantee that the problem is not the problem. What you're seeing are the symptoms of a deeper problem. When you're able to see past what you think is a problem, now there's something you can do. Because listen to this, if I want to stop procrastination, it ain't gonna happen. You know how many people reach out to me and tell me, oh, Tommy, I'm struggling with procrastination. I tried so many things. I need to get rid of procrastination. And I don't know, whatever I try doesn't work. Yes, because you're seeing procrastination as the problem. It's the same as having an infection and thinking that the problem is the high fever. The high fever is the byproduct, the symptom of the infection. It's a symptom of the infection. So I need to work on dealing with the infection, with the root. In this case, there's no infection. There's just limiting negative and false beliefs, negative self-images that you have about yourself in the mind, that then the mind is trying to protect you from confirming them. Listen to that again. The mind doesn't distinguish between true or false. The mind sees negative self-images in your mind. I'm not good enough. I'm inadequate. There's something wrong with me. I'm never going to make it. I cannot do it. I'm not worthy. I'm not important. I'm not lovable. Whatever variation each one of us could have in different areas. For the mind, guys, that is the truth. For the mind, that is the truth. So the mind doesn't want to go into the mind in itself to confirm, quote unquote, that that is the truth. So what it does, it creates mechanisms to protect me from confirming those beliefs. When I am able to understand that, now I can start working on the root that is going to allow me to truly start making changes. But if I keep cutting the weed, thinking that it's going to go away, as the same example that I give, if I keep pumping a punctured tire with air without actually putting, a stop or something and fixing the puncture, I will have to keep pumping air every day from now on to solve the problem, quote unquote, solve the problem. But actually, I need to just fix the punctured tire. I need to change the beliefs in my mind, reprogram to really be able to start overcoming the challenges that I'm going through. So procrastination, perfectionism, self-doubt, uncertainty, stress, anxiety, whatever you're going through in the entrepreneur journey, that is not the problem. And now people tell me, okay, but Tommy, how do I go deeper? Okay, I've said it many times. I'm going to go over it a little bit. First, start connecting with your emotions. First, we need to start validating our emotions. We have been programmed since childhood to deny our emotions. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again because we have become professionals in denying our emotions. Why? Because if we think negative, we're going to attract more negative. Now in the new spiritual era, where people think that if they think negative, they're going to attract more negative. And that's BS, because the negative is already happening in your life because you're struggling. Listen to this for a second. You don't want to think negative because you don't want to attract negative, but you're procrastinating, right? You are, falling into perfectionism, right? You're struggling with something, right? So you're already in a negative spot according to what you're saying. So if you keep trying what you're trying, to move away from negativity, you're going to get the same results you're going through right now, guys. Same results you're going through right now, you're going to get, because you're not actually changing anything. By denying the negatives, you are creating more negativity, because that's what you're doing. You've been denying your negatives and you're creating more negative, or you're staying in a negative place. So let's stop this nonsense that is out there of polarity of positive or negative. Is positive or negative, but it's all what it is. It's not good or bad. Like, oh, negative emotions are bad. No, they're not bad. They're part of the creator. So you're saying that God made a mistake. You're saying that God is wrong, or universe, or whatever. Be careful with the way we're thinking, guys, because we never stop and think these type of things. Oh, thinking negative is going to attract more negativity. Oh, but you're in a really tight spot right now. You're struggling right now. You are in a negative spiral right now. So instead, deal with the negative, release it for good, change the narratives, and things are going to start changing. So let's go with the steps. 1, how am I feeling? Deal with your negative emotions. 2, why am I feeling this way? Stop denying it. Start understanding the narratives. I feel this way because, I feel sad because I'm not being able to make it to the end of the month. Okay. How does it make me feel about myself? It makes me feel like a failure. It makes me feel like a loser. It makes me feel that I'm alone, that God doesn't care about me, or whatever, or that I'm not important, or people don't care what I have to say, people don't like me, whatever it is, the narrative that you're putting up in there. So how do I feel? Why do I feel this? And how does this make me feel about myself? That's a program, guys. You just found the program. I'm not good enough. I'm inadequate. I'm a failure. I'm never going to make it. Fourth question, where could have I learned this? Where could I have learned this? What things did I go through as kid, growing up, that made me feel this way or made me think this way? This is very important to start working on. So again, if I want to overcome procrastination, perfection, or whatever, I need to truly go to the root. Where did it all started? Oh, when I was a kid, my dad would always tell me, or would tell me sometimes, or very often, whatever, that I'm never going to make it. You're going to be a loser just like your brother, like your sister, like your mom, or whatever. Somebody started putting these ideas in your mind. And you as a kid, you took them as the truth. So now comes this. Listen to this, guys. Okay? Where did I learn this? Okay, my dad used to tell me this. Okay, could it be that my dad maybe was not 100% correct with what he was saying? Could it be that maybe wasn't 100% the truth? That he might have been projecting on me his own unresolved issues? So suddenly, for the mind, you bring another interpretation, guys. For the mind is, I'm not good enough because my dad told me I'm not good enough. But suddenly it's like, wait. Oh, wait. When I was a little kid, my dad used to tell me that. So I try to connect with that part of me, with that part of the mind, with that little kid. And then suddenly, hey, what if what dad was wrong? What if dad was projecting his own unresolved issues? My dad, many years ago, told me when I moved over here to the mountains, far away from the city, because he loves me and he didn't want me to move and he was scared of me failing. You know what he told me? Tommy, you shouldn't move because you're going to lose everything and you're going to come back with nothing at all. That's what he told me. So I've done the work, and there might be some more to do. I don't know, right? Hey, Tommy, Dad said that because he felt like a failure and he was scared of me failing. Instead of saying, hey, go pursue your dreams, do whatever you feel like it. We're here if you need us. Instead, he wanted to scare the shit out of me to prevent me from leaving him, from going away, far away from him. So that was his unresolved issues. It had nothing to do with me. It had to do with my dad. But it hurt when he said it. And I had to do some inner work, right? My dad was speaking out of fear. My dad was speaking out of his own unresolved issues. This has nothing to do with me because I'm not my dad. And I can change the cycle. I don't need to live the life that he lived. That is his life. My life is different, and that is okay. So I start bringing a higher truth, right? Slowly, step by step, right? I'm trying to crash everything here in this time that we have together to show you, right? There could be more stuff to add to this. It's not just this, there's more, but at least I'm doing a crash course on this, on start questioning what your dad said. So suddenly it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't 100% true. Maybe I do deserve. Maybe I'm going to make it. Maybe I'm going to have a happy life over here. So sorry, and start breaking these chains that I put up, right, with my dad when he said that. So again, check that the procrastination, the perfection, all of that is just showing you a surface level problem to not go so deep to face these things. Because to face that I might believe that I'm a failure, quote unquote, but that's what my mind thinks, that is very painful. The mind doesn't want to do that. So it's going to do everything in its power to protect you from really being able to do that. So as you work on going deeper into the mind, it's going to make it easier to understand what's going on and how to start making changes. I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoy this. Type, if you like this, send me some love. If you want to write live, if you're watching live, or replay, if you're watching replay, let us know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoy this and you can start getting past those surface level problems that you might be facing in different areas of your life, mainly here in the entrepreneur journey, but these are in every aspect of our life, to understand that there is something much deeper to work on. Focus more on that and see how things start changing. So again, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, guys. Bye.